Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm your host, Preston M. Smith. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm Preston M. Smith, at PMS Artwork everywhere on internet land and socials. I want to thank you for landing on this podcast. Whether you're a professional artist, just getting started in the art world, a collector of art, or just consider yourself a creative person, this podcast has something for you. I like to think of it as a fun way to rant and talk to other creative people about living the life of an artist, surviving and getting ahead in the art world, and enjoying your life. But most importantly, not waiting until you're dead to make it happen. All right, let's get started.
Hey kids, another rejection got you down? Feel like you're on the fast track to nowhere town? Well, don't worry because you can go your own way.
You can go your own way. Go your own way.
Ha ha ha! Yes, that's right kids, but just make sure you don't get sued by Fleetwood Mac along the way.
Shale, Hershey, shale,
We interrupt this podcast portion of this is stolen material. Somebody's original as a stand-up comedian, Maria Bamford.
Okay, well, that's about that. That's about where my brain is at today. That just seemed like a hodgepodge of bullshit, probably, to all of you. And maybe it was. Maybe it was a hodgepodge of bullshit. But we are going to be talking about going your own way and doing your own thing a little bit today. And yes, I used Maria Bamford as inspiration for this. If you haven't heard Maria Bamford's stand-up, you should check it out. I'm going to warn you, it's not for everybody. It's wacky. It's stream of consciousness. It's crazy. And there's a lot of voices. There's a lot of, kind of dark stuff, but packaged in a really unique way. And, what I love about Maria Bamford, and I did steal a little bit of the Cheryl Hersham. Go check that out if you haven't heard it. It's really funny. But she is a very unique comedian. And you've probably seen her on Arrested Development, if nothing else. She plays a small character on that. And she does have like a lot of stand-up. And she's been around for a long time. And she also has a 2-season show on Netflix called Lady Dynamite. And it's really funny too. It's really good. She's just really versatile and really, unique in her style. And it just inspired me today to talk about it because one of the things that Maria Bamford does, which I think is just amazing and outside the box, and what I always try to incorporate with what I do with art, is she does her stand-up in completely unconventional ways. And I think it's a little bit of a thing for her. She's really outspoken about like mental illness and her own mental health struggles. And I think it's a little bit of a necessity is the mother of all inventions thing. But I think it's also just really brave and unique how she tackles her stand-up. And that is, she'll do like stand-up routines and she'll do them just like all over the place. Like she has one whole special where she just did it in her living room with her parents, just to her parents. There's a keyboard player and then it's just her with lights and, her sign set up in her living room. And she's just doing the whole show to her parents in like full makeup. It's great. And then she has another one on Netflix where it's just little vignettes of her like doing it on a sidewalk. And then she's, in somebody's backyard. And then she's doing it in a library. And it just keeps switching around. Really unique. You never see that kind of stuff anywhere. And I just think it's so cool and it's inspirational because it's like, yeah, you can do it anywhere. You can go your own way. I'm not going to sing it again. But it's really inspirational because, I think a lot of us think that we have to just do whatever, is conventional. I got to go the gallery route. I got to go get my MFA. I don't know why I just got into like a weird Minnesota. I got to go get my MFA there. Okay. Anyway, you think you have to go get your MFA, think you got to go that route. You got to go maybe do some teaching. Maybe you get into the gallery system. Maybe you do a little bit of like an apprenticeship at a gallery or something. You work behind the scenes, you get to know the gallery. Maybe you get in there with them and they start showing your work. You pound the pavement, you do your work that way. Whatever the conventional route is in your mind, I think so many things right now are kind of being flipped on their own head. And I think we need to embrace that. And I've always thought, look, yeah, when I started doing online stuff, it was still pretty unique at the time. And I was like, it was unconventional. It was like, well, everybody else is doing the brick and mortar stuff until, the pandemic. And then everybody kind of switched over because they had to. But I was doing, the online thing for a long time. And I was finding unique ways of packaging my work and unique ways of getting online. Like I was one of the first people to do the thing on social media where you're like sold and you show your work as sold and you package it that way. You're kind of giving people that validation, that you're selling your work, that your work is of value, that, I should take a chance on this artist because he's selling all over the place. Now everybody does this, the sold thing. You see it everywhere. The way I do the floating artwork, I was not the very first to do that, but I was one of the first to do that. And I found ways to take that to new levels. Like all of the in situation stuff that I do, I take pictures of places. I found pictures of places. I find unique ways of superimposing my work into those. I don't use any of the apps. I find ways to even put myself in there and do weird stuff and do weird stories. I've always tried to be unconventional with how I package my work and how I promote my work and how I market my work. And, yeah, when I see Maria Bamford stand up and I see the way she's doing all of her stuff and her crazy characters, and yes, she kind of taps into my crazy, wacky voices and stuff like that. So I can relate to her in that way. But just the fact that she's so brave with her work and does stuff that might just land flat on its face. Like, oh, she's doing stand up in a library. Oh, she's doing stand up at Altadena in this weird little place where she put glitter up behind her and she has a bunch of people that are just there to do 1 minute of stand up after her, and she's feeding the pizza that she's making. It's just, funny, unique stuff like that not every other comedian's going to do, or maybe would be afraid to do because they're like, well, that's not going to sell. Nobody's going to watch that. Well, I'll tell you, I watched it and my wife watched it. So you got an audience of 2 at least, Maria. No, but she's great. I mean, she's very well known in the, the comedy circuit. But yeah, let's take this as a little bit of inspiration. And let's start pondering how we can think outside the box and act outside of the box. And maybe we can make our own box. Maybe it's not even a box. Maybe it's a cylinder. It's a container. Maybe it's not even a container because we're bound by nothing. But so much is happening in the world of art and AI and, progress. And there's a lot of uncertainty out there right now. There's a lot of wackiness. Nobody knows how bad AI is going to be. Is it going to take over everything? Is it going to take over your jobs? Take the good jobs! Is it going to take your job? Is it going to make us obsolete as artists? I think some fields it might, where it's easy for AI to tap into it. But I think it's been overblown a bit. I actually see AI as a tool, as a resource to kind of further what we're doing. So I'm not really that afraid of it. I don't think anybody's ever going to develop an AI that can express existential grief or emotion on a canvas with actual texture and stuff like that. And when that day comes, I will bow out gracefully, sir. But until that day, I'm going to keep trekking and moving forward. And this episode in particular is just to light a little bit of a fire under you and just give you a little pause to think about how can you and how can we market, package, rethink how we're showing our work, rethink what is even available to us, and be unconventional. Find ways to show your work that's unconventional. If you can't get into a gallery, make your own gallery. If you can't show your work, and in a solo show, some people do stuff online. I would say take a little page out of the Maria Bamford book and set up a one-stop pop-up art show at, your local park or something. Do something weird and promote it in a way that gets some attention on it. It's that kind of thinking outside of the box that can get you some attention as well, and can maybe even find you some new clients that you wouldn't have found the conventional route, some new collectors. What else can we do? What else are we capable of? How else can we think outside of the box? How else can we color outside of the lines? Yeah, color outside of those lines. Sometimes that's the most fun and freeing thing to do. I love the idea of having, a floating little space. Maybe somebody has a big truck that you can do. You can, drive around the city and do a little pop-up show outside of the back of the truck or something. Maybe you can find different ways to market yourself that is very unique. And maybe it's not even about just your art itself, but maybe it's about how you can rethink how you can do certain things in your private life and how you can come up with creative ways to express yourself. Maybe it's not using the conventional materials. Maybe it's something that you found. Maybe you want to think about what's relevant today and incorporate somehow AI into your work, or incorporate some sort of like existential dread. The future is very uncertain, so maybe you can make your work very uncertain. Maybe you can make work that doesn't stand the test of time, meaning it doesn't even hold up. Everybody thinks we got to have this work and it's got to be our legacy. Maybe you can make a piece of work that disintegrates after a little bit of time. Take a little piece from the monks, maybe we can deal with impermanence a little bit. Maybe that's a way to think outside of the box. I'm having to think outside of the box with treating my Lyme disease and all the co-infections and all the crap I got going on in my body. Some stuff's not working. The conventional crap's not working. So I have to think outside of the box. I've really been struggling, and I have to find ways to kind of shock my body and my system and even think about getting in there from a different angle. Maybe it's not about kill the bacteria. Maybe it's about reinforce the immune system. Maybe it's about calming the nervous system. Shh, calm down. Everything's okay. You're going to be okay. And we're back, everybody. We're back to the Living Artist Podcast. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe you have to just find ways to reimagine everything in your life. Maybe you've hit this little bit of like a malaise, or you're just getting complacent in your art. Maybe you're getting complacent in your life. Maybe it's time to take something like what Maria Bamford does, or what I'm talking about, and just reimagine everything. Make it exciting again. Make your life and your art and your creative process and the way you market your stuff, and let's be bound by nothing. Let's just really try to envision ourselves in the future being bound by nothing, and reimagine what an artist can be and do and look like. Maybe the artist of the future is different than the artist we see right now. We think of an artist the same way we've pretty much thought of an artist from, back in the day, the Caravaggio days, the Leonardo da Vinci days, all the days. Let's just go back to any day you want where there's an artist. We still kind of think of it the same way. The artist in the studio, isolated, creating their work and then getting it out into the public eye. Maybe we need to re-envision how we express ourselves as artists and how we show our work and what that even means to be an artist. So this is a lot of, we got a garbage truck here. You know what? I'm going to brace it because, maybe the artist of the future, man, maybe they embrace the garbage trucks, man. Maybe they're not bound by the quietness of the podcast. Maybe they just embrace the noise, man. Maybe we even throw our art in the garbage. Okay, no, but I have actually done garbage and incorporated garbage into my work before as a statement for climate change and putting foil in trash that I found and not only upcycling my materials that I find, but actually upcycling the packaging that my art materials come in. I put that into my work and I called it my garbage collection. See what I did there? A little play on words. But that's just another example of being in the moment. I just let this garbage truck come by and spark an idea and a thought and something that I had done in the past to share with you. We can do anything we want as artists. And I just want this to be a little bit of a fun pep talk and a way for you to think outside the box. If you need some inspiration, go check out Maria Bamford's stand-up and, or check out her Lady Dynamite on Netflix. It might not resonate with you. It might be too weird. I know she's a little too weird for some people, but I love it. I think it's funny. My wife and I love it. And if for nothing else, just to get some inspiration on how bold you can be as an artist and how you can think outside the box. So hope everybody's doing well out there. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Hope you are bouncing back from your turkey comas and, maybe some crazy family get-togethers and some new trauma that's come from that. But anyway, hope you're doing well and look forward to bringing you another episode next week. And in the meantime,
Be bold. Be daring. Be boring. Be whatever you want to be.
this has been the Living Artist Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I just want you to know that I appreciate you being here, and I'm grateful to be in your ears. Your art and creative life on this planet is meaningful, so thank you for sharing it with me. If you like this podcast, whatever platform you're listening to it on, please subscribe and share it with your friends. You can also leave me a positive review to show your support. This helps me to reach more people with the algorithmic magic and keep the show going strong. If you want to see more of what I do and check out the art that I create, you can visit my website at www.pmsartwork.com or follow me on social media everywhere at PMS Artwork. That's it for now. See you back here next time.